going to happen the way the attorney decides to make it happen if you're going to be there, because most of the time the attorney conducts the depositions. Okay. Furthermore, unlike the interrogatories, they may be taken from witnesses as well as parties. Yeah. Depositions can be taken by witnesses too, not just our parties, not just our plaintiff and our defendant. No way. We can also take it from who? The witnesses. Now, why would we take a deposition from a witness? We want to know what they know. Let's take the Baranski case, for example, right? It was a car accident. Maybe somebody was there at the scene of the car accident, and that person's name was in the police report. So we found out who that person was. We found out their phone number, email, however we can contact them, and they were a witness. So now we're going to subpoena them to come in for a deposition. We want to know what they know. It's either going to hurt our case or help our case, but that's not the point. The point is, let's see what they know. Okay? In a deposition, the attorney is able to question the person being deposed. Yeah, they're not, by the way, I know you see a lot of this on reality TV shows or, those court shows or things like that. You're going to see a lot of attorneys in depositions, and they're like ferocious and scaring these people. That's not the way it works. Okay? That's not the way it works. There is rules and laws where a deposition needs to be conducted a certain way. Okay, so the reality of it is they need a break. They need to use the restroom. You can't force them to sit there in the dark room. That's not how it works. Okay, a deposition is mostly friendly. Why should we be friendly during a deposition? Because we want them to tell us everything they know. Do you think if we go into our deposition with this attitude of like, I know you know something, do you think they're going to be honest with us? Are they going to shut down and not give us what we need to know? Right? So depositions are conducted a certain way because we want to know what you know. Right? And the best way to do that is have you relaxed, give you a water bottle. Do you need anything? Let me know if you need to use the restroom. Let me know this. Let me know that. You need to step out and use your phone. Just let us know. The more comfortable you make that person who's in the deposition, the more information you're going to get from them. Okay? You guys will watch some too. We'll watch some how the attorneys do it. It's fascinating. Okay, so the attorney is able to ask questions to the person being deposed in person and follows up with new questions that come to mind. Now, you may have created the deposition questions for the attorney as the paralegal. That's fine. But as the attorney's asking the questions, what's going to happen in that deposition is other questions are going to bounce off the question that you created. Okay? So it's not like they're just sticking with the questions, putting an answer, and that's it. No, it's going to bounce off because the more we have somebody talk to us, right, the more we know. If they say something that's going to highlight our case, oh, the attorney's going to go after it, right? So depositions can be longer than 2 hours sometimes, but there are rules. There needs to be breaks and so forth. But they can be long, especially if they come in with a lot of information. Okay? The attorney's not limited in the number of questions asked in a deposition. The attorney doesn't have a limit. There's no rules out there or laws out there that state you can only ask 10 questions at the deposition. They're unlimited. Okay, so let's highlight that. That's something you need to know. They're not limited in the number of questions asked in a deposition. Most courts limit the number of interrogatory questions. They do. You can't type up 300 interrogatory questions for opposing counsel. No, courts have limits, and the limit is usually 25 at the most. Do attorneys always have you type up 25 questions? Not really. Believe it or not, they really want to dive into the most important aspect of what they're looking for. So you'll probably have to type up 10 to 15 at the most. But then we have those other attorneys where they're going to use all 25 questions and you're going to type them up. Okay? Just depends. But the limit is usually 25. Now remember, when I say that, it's a general number. Our book does not focus on California. So if you want to know how many interrogatories are allowed in California, you would have to go research that on your own. So just a reminder, our book is in general, okay? All right. Because the questioning is often done in person, the deponent must answer without asking an attorney how to respond. Well, isn't that funny? Right? You would think that the client or the witness there would be able to say, okay, how should I answer this? That's not the way it works. We want your feedback. We want your answer. We want your honesty, right? So that's what happens there. They cannot ask their attorney, if their attorney's sitting side by side, I don't know, or the attorney that is actually deposing them, they cannot ask them, how should I respond to this? Okay? It's very particular how this takes place, everyone.